Africa, right here. And here is Cameroon. So that's where Tika's going this year, this summer, to Cameroon.
I'm scared to go to another country.
Why?
I don't know.
I
I'm
don't
get
know.
home.
Are you scared of the plane? Like or like the actual?
Don't even know they say you don't.
Scared of a boat too.
I
can do both.
No, I can't drink.
I can do a
That's
train
just-
though. I can do a train.
I can do a
I had
plane.
it.
Okay,
And a car and a bus.
Simba's gonna do a little poem for us. This is what Simba does.
So I,
Go ahead.
apparently I am a poet. And I came here on a scholarship to recite my poems. Yeah, so this is the poem I recited on my poetry performance. And it was about Africa. It is called The Crying Just Stopped. The first paragraph is in Venda, but don't worry about that. The rest of the poem is in English. The crying just stopped. Waba mtu anga chiro mwanwane chabako. Chawu chiro chemetso khoti matibani atatu. Vuwa mu Africa vuwa. Se hafamba inabaka chibambo. Awake, Africa, awake. I know, Africa. I saw you. Bruised and wounded by the hands of the invaders. How like ants we fed on your motherly nested milk. When tears ran down your streams in our mouth, we tasted it. And to many it was art, how a woman can bear it all, from the baby on her back to her honor suitcases on her head. Your blood was recorded by many, a story they longed to narrate. Your sweat was strength for multitude, with sun rays on your back. You cried for help, and they got paid for it. You cried for help, and they got recognition on your pain. I know, Africa. I saw you. To a corner, they separated you from your brothers. A prison to keep you weak. When your land they took, your children they killed, and your husband they kept as slaves. When your story was told, they were seen as heroes. When your heart was cracking up, your water well drying up, in laughter they took your color, and in rain they bent your flowers. When your garment was placed for their feet, and your tears for their pride. When in sorrow they rejoiced, and as they took, they left none. When bullets came flying on your rooftops, a celebration that waited for no holiday. When their kids learned to shoot by you and their dogs to bathe by you. I know, Africa, I saw you. But when none was left, many was to be won. In voices of thunder you tore up the past books. In dances of furious minds you took charge of the streets. In creative art of paintings you drew your victory. And in just a moment you had it all known. As your colors and rhythms made way to our veins, down the evolutionary line we inherited it all. To walk in great value and talk in pleasure. To sing the magical nights into existence at the fire storytelling. To lit up the world with love and forgiveness. Your brave actions to heal also the unwounded. Your loving hands to clean also the clean. Your angelic heart to fill also the wealthy. And in your path we follow to live. I know, Africa, I saw you. I know, Africa, for I am Africa. I know, Africa, I saw you. I know, Africa, for we are Africa.
That was really nice. That was really nice.
Thank you.
So what about that poem?
That one?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just going to do this one. On nature's deathbed.
On nature's deathbed. Simba, stand up and do your thing.
Okay.
Aww.
I had no voice, and yours were far too many. I was a body of enormously amplified beauty. I had bold, mystified eyes that lit up the day, and enclosure gave way to sparkles to beautify darkness. I had thighs with calves and mounds so glamorously hypnotic. My skin was dark, soft, sweet, and richly nourished. I had rhythms and songs that channeled my heart to dance. But I had no voice, and yours were far too many. I was a garden whose butterflies would fly so gloriously. My sight was a remedy and hope for sorrowed soul. The birds will declare love's eyes fixed on my flowery patches with shades and shadows mimicking my well-patterned views. As I sway around, I would hypnotically give pleasure to my conscience. I had puddles and pools from my stream tears to cleanse my body and refresh my soul. But still, I had no voice, and yours were far too many. I had no voice, you knew, and you took advantage. You robbed me of my well-beautified futures, extracted my eyes to feed your curious actions. You left my nights with darkened waves of heat. You drilled my thighs in search of gold and diamonds. You left me hollow to be filled with contaminated streams. You killed my song as you tantalized and stroked my heart. For I had no voice, and yours were far too many. For you see, I created my garden. And when I created my garden, I made sure patterns and patches existed to preach my beauty. When I created my garden, I made sure my flowers and grasses were of diverse type to suit my crowns. When I created my garden, I had puddles and pools to nourish my dreams and wishes. But now I sit and watch the brown patches of grasses and flowers that lost their patterns. For my puddles and pools have dried out to meet the demands of my sorrowed soul. I now sit and watch the brown patches of grasses and flowers who hope to remain green and colored with pink, blue, red. But my puddles and pools have dried out to meet the demands of my sorrowed soul. I now sit and watch the bent-out blackened seeds who hope to see the future through decades unseen. But my puddles and pools have dried out to meet the demands of my sorrowed soul. For I had no voice, and yours were far too many. Thank you.
So who listens to hip hop in here? Who listens to rap? Come on, people, raise your hands. Even I listen to hip hop. Okay, so.
You don't listen to hip hop.
So you have to know that that kind of poetry is the roots of that kind of music, right? That is where that comes from. That's the same thing as the stuff that you hear on the radio all the time about making commentaries about what's happening in this country or what's happening in neighborhoods or what's happening in communities, right, Simba? What was that second poem about?
Well, that's partially about me and partially about my environment, where I come from. When I wrote it, it was one of those, you grew up in a place wherein you see most of the things as a comfort zone. You have your family with you, you have your friends with you, you have environments and temperatures that you're used to, that you grew up with. And sometimes you don't want to get out of those because you have this fear of seeing the world, of getting out and finding things to be difficult for you outside because you can't cope with what you have in where you are. And to me it was like my comfort zone was letting people or things decide my fate. It was one of those, if I want to know if I am good, I would go to others to have their compliments. If I wanted to know if I'm beautiful, I would go to others to find out what they think about me. If I do something wrong, I would let people beat me up for it, or tear me down, or just do whatever they feel it is possible to pay up for what I did wrong. And at one point, I would take people's comments on me as what is true, except what I think and what I believe and what I am. And it will be like if somebody else thinks that I have this big bulk on my head, then that is what I have. If somebody thinks that my hair is just not beautiful enough, then that is the truth. If somebody thinks I am just too tall or too thick or too whatever, that is what I would take. If somebody thinks I am dumb or stupid or crazy, then that is what I would take. But I never tried to come up with my own definition of who I am. I just took whatever it is that was brought into me and took it as this is how life should be. This is how it all should come through.
Can you change that?
Yeah.
Change that thought?
You know, it's one of those, sometimes you just say, whatever somebody is saying, just as long as I don't take it, it doesn't matter. So people can say whatever they want to say. But the truth is you get to think about what other people say. And your life changes around other people's words.
I mean, you have a gift. I mean, you have a gift. I'm just saying it because that was really nice. But you have a gift.
Yeah. And that's, I started writing when I was 10 years old. And it was like I would write my things and just put them somewhere where nobody will ever read them. And somehow at first it was like one of those, this is stupid, this is crazy. I don't have my mates doing the same thing. My mates would rather go out singing or go out dancing or whatever, but I haven't seen any one of them writing. So to me, I felt like, okay, fine, people already think I am weird, people already think I am stupid, so this might just fall into the category of what weird people and stupid people do. Except for the fact that I was shy, I just didn't feel comfortable in bringing out my work and giving it to people. And then as I had to grow with a whole lot of wounds of how my life had been, I managed to take my poetry as an advantage, start writing about my feelings, start writing about what I think, and that's where I figured out who I was. And right now, it doesn't matter what somebody else thinks I am. If what I am doing is, if it feels right to me, I will do it. If somebody thinks that I am ugly or stupid, that is their own opinion, not what I am. And that's how I learned to avoid the fact that if you say something, I won't say anything back. I won't say anything back. And that is no longer because I am scared or I think you're telling the truth. That is just because I believe everybody has their opinion of what something is. And them having their opinion doesn't mean that they're telling the truth. And that's how I got to write the poem.
What are the last two, what is the major lines of those poems? I have my own voice, but there were too many.
I had no voice and yours were too many.
I had no voice, and yours were too many. Okay. So we're gonna do a little small group work here in a minute. Do you have anything else, Cinda, that you want to say right now before we start kind of breaking up and having people do their own who I am thing?
Okay, can I bring out another poem that has to do with the
Yes.
line?
Absolutely.
Okay. This one is called In a Flesh for Me. I'm only human, you said. I make mistakes, you claim. Last time I checked, I was not four-legged. I was just as clearly human as you declared to be. And my wrongdoings were called bad manners, judgment flying through your well-trained security cloth. My heart was bruised and smashed, all in the name of punishment. You deserve it, you call. There's no other way, you claim. For so long I screamed until all I could do was squint. For so long I called out the praises of dawn until all I could see was the rising waves of light and rays. For so long I hoped, for so long I wished, for so long I longed, until all I could do was wait for the sunset to hide my streams. You watched me twice, passed me twice, there with me all the time. As the salt bees tend to be my companions, endlessly I walked down the lane of victors, and solemnly laughed at for my strained knees. And fool was I to think you had the rights. For a moment I took you right, waited upon you for my freedom, blinded by your dormant shivering comments, pastures for you to quench your pride. I didn't know the bills I was paying for weren't mine. I was locked out in mansions under my own name. My feet were deduced, clad up to be of my class. You took my moment of appreciation. You cleaned out my emotions and did leave me blank. You cannot possibly expect me to talk now, to soothe your own oppressed opinions. You were me, I was you. And you were in me, I was in you. You were my comfort, once my common sense. You were my foundation, once the back of my brains. You were my conscience, once my friend. You were in me, and you have been checked out. You were in me, you were, and you were. You are no more. For I am now in the flowing river of the Almighty God.
Okay. So we're gonna build on this a little bit on some of the things we've talked about all semester about the meaning of life and what our personal philosophies are. So we're gonna split up the college age people in the room with the high school age people in the room and talk about this question of who I am. And for some of you, this is going to be easier because some people write poetry more often, right? But we're going to come up with some statement of who I am that is in some kind of poetry form. So it can be rhyming or not rhyming. It can be, what did you call it last week? Spitting? Shakita?
Yeah.
Spitting?
Yeah, like rapping.
Yeah, like rapping. It could be like that. So we're going to spend about 20 minutes doing that. And then people can share if they want to or not. But then I'm going to have Lorenzo and Simba stand up and do one of their, and anybody can join in if they want to, because this is like a all-comers kind of a thing. So, but think about this. Think about the words. Think about how you describe things sort of in pictures. Like, I didn't know the bills I was paying weren't mine. What could that possibly mean? I didn't know the bills I was paying weren't mine. Isn't that what you said in the poem?
You were paying somebody else's bills.
No, she was paying.
That's one option, Mike.
She was paying the people that. Hold on, it's really the other people's bills that she.
It's more about her thoughts.
What do they mean by bill? What does it mean by bills, though? Do they mean actual bills like a telephone bill and an electric bill? What else could they possibly mean by that? Or what else could Simba possibly mean by that?
I guess you're paying for somebody else's stupidity.
Stupidity, it could be. Ignorance, inappropriate opinions, right? Is that along the right lines? Right. So it could be, you keep sort of laying on top of yourself things that don't really belong to you, just what you were saying before, right? That's just another way of saying that, right? And that's kind of how poetry works. Poetry works, and I know that some of you all know this, but poetry works in that you want to paint a picture of something with words, but you use words in different ways to paint that picture. So think about that. Think about the things that you'd really like to say about who you are in ways that really illustrate, that really paint a picture, using words in lots of different ways. Does that sound right?
Yeah.
Okay. So, come on, reluctant poets in the room.
Well, since I'm your second best friend.
I was asking my best friend anyway.
Alright, come on.
Alright, what are we doing?
Who's moving?
You're going to have to come up with something. You're going to have to try to push
Who's
your chair right down.
Alright,
I know how
whoever
you
comes
feel.
and sits in
I
this
had that
chair.
week. Believe me, I know how you feel.
I'm passing.
Whoever comes and sits in her chair.
Yeah.
Do you want to work with somebody?
I'm sitting right here. Ain't your best friend?
Don't get no sleep.
No.
Who spits? You do it? Oh, you do? Oh, where to go
But I'm
now?
better than her.
Oh,
Yeah, right.
We're gonna find out.
Oh, wait, just kidding, there's another.
I hear some rivalry building up, a challenge.
Spit one off your head right there.
Because Lorenzo was gonna take you over to.
But I like it down.
Are you okay?
Yeah.
I think looks really different from this time.
I need a pen.
Andrew, do you wanna take?
So we writing a poem?
Whatever you guys want me to do, we do that.
Lord. Lord over here. Yeah. No, you mad. You can't do it. You do that when I tell you to. I can do that.
Since I don't know.
Get your child.
What?
Give it to her. Please give her a pen. She can't function.
Why don't you come over here, Mike?
who
Yeah,
can't?
you know what, I'm graduating 2 weeks, so, there's a good chance that.
I'll be back.
You'll be back,
Come
okay.
down, graduate. I have to go to my office and get some of this water bottle.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Because you're taking over to Clark, right?
I'll take it.
When is my graduation?
When is your